Hello and welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Before we get started today on stage 23, which I have right here, I wanted to come back and take a look at crud. Didn't even see that. Take a look at the couch, which finished in stage 22, finished it on the stream. Noticed a couple of things. One of the cushions was up. I just super glued that on. And I got to find the leg. It should be in the box where I had it stored. But the couch came out pretty good, except for the missing leg. So let me go ahead and put this away, and I will be right back. Okay, yeah, the leg for that table, or that couch, was in the box, and I just glued it back on. There won't be any problem with it. So let me open the book. And in stage 23, pack 23, issue 23, however you want to call it, we're going to be working on the cellar steps and the cellar shelves. Plus, there's a couple of bags that I have to build. So let me get the parts out, get them cut loose, and we will start building. I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so I've got all the parts out, and as I was going through, I looked and realized that I've got to stain stuff and everything. So these are the parts for the stairs. These are the parts for the shelves. This is the parts for the bags, which one says Sipuli, the other one says Kahvi. Not sure what they mean in English. And then you've got some stuffing for them. So I'm going to get the parts cut out for the stairs and then get them stained, and we'll come back when I'm ready to glue. I may just get everything stained first so that all the parts are ready to go, just to make it simpler. Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do. Get them all cut out, get them sanded. Oh, that could be interesting. That shelf is warped a little bit. May have to apply heat to straighten it out. We'll see how it works out. At least one of them is good. So, like I said, I will be back in a minute. Okay, just finished with staining the parts for the stairs. And so the next thing you do, you identify your parts, and then we're gonna glue them together, steps into each one of these. I did sand off the etch or the burn from the laser, so that's actually, it was clear white, or it was the base color of the wood. That is actually where the stain has soaked in quite a bit. So let me go ahead and drop some glue in each corner on this one. You make sure that this is the bottom of the stairs. Slide that in there. Didn't need the glue on the top portion or on the opposite side yet, because I got to put all of them together. Got ahead of myself there. Drop a glue here and here. Same thing here and here. Slide those in. Clean up any excess glue that is there. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side of the stairs. I already did it on the first one, but I'm going to go back and make sure the glue is still wet. You slide this other part on, making sure that this tab is on the same side. It's got to be on the bottom. Trying to line 3 of these up at once is a little bit tricky. Once you start getting them, it should just fall into place. This middle one is trying to be a pain. Now the bottom one. So when done, there's the stairs. It just popped open. Might need a little bit more glue, but instead of, every time I touch it, instead of adding more glue to the stairs, what I'm going to do is bring over the part from last issue, the cellar, and I'm going to add glue to the parts of the tab. Shouldn't need to put it against the wall, but I will put it against on these here. Might be a little bit tricky because it's all the way against the wall there. Come on. Get those tabs to drop into the holes in the floor. I've got one. The other one is playing hard to get. Had one, I thought. There we go. So they've all dropped in. Let me clean up the glue back here. Glue right there. Let me make sure. So you can see where they've dropped in there. They're pretty much flush. The back one is trying not to be flush. But now you've got the stairs into the cellar. That spot where the glue, the spots where the glue is showing, that'll dry clear and won't be any issue. So onto the shelf, which this one was flat. This one had quite a bit of a bow to it, but if you look, I was able to get it pretty much flattened out. What I did was I wet it, and my wife did cross stitching for a while. She doesn't any longer. She gave me needlecraft. I'm not sure what she was what she used this for, well, or what it was designed for, but it was to lay down. I think it was needlepoint. It was to make the threads lay down against the fabric. It's a perfect size for working on a model kit. What I did was I got water on here, and then I just ran this across it until it laid down flat on high. It was like similar to when you spray on an iron water on clothes. I could hear it sizzling, the water sizzling when I ran it over it. So that actually laid those down pretty flat. Let me go ahead and get these cut out, all of these pieces cut out. And when we come back, these parts will all be stained up and ready to go together. Okay, I've got most of the parts sanded down. These are the sanded ones, but I wanted to show you. So this is what the part looks like when it's cut loose. You don't have to try and get down into the insets there. You're not going to be able to see them. But what I do is I take it, set it on the sanding stick. Whoops, if I can keep a hold of it. Set it on the sanding stick and just run it back and forth. And it, you're not getting everything off, but you're getting it roughed up pretty clean. As much as you want it to be. The one side, because of the cut mark, might be a little bit different than the other. You get it pretty much clean. You can see here, there's a little bit. Not going to worry about that. Then do the ends. Because what you're trying to do is clean up the edges that you're going to see. These, you're not going to see much of anything. They're they hold the shelf sides, and then the shelves themselves will fit inside them. Not going to sand them. They're too small, very prone to breakage. There's only one spot I would even try to sand, and that's going to actually be facing in, so you're not going to see it. And I misread, or I didn't look at the instructions well enough. Once you're done sanding, you actually build the sides of the shelves. Let me show you what I'm talking about. The only place I would even possibly think about sanding is right there. And that's actually going to be inside where you can't see it. So let me go ahead and turn the page here. And what we're going to do is you got the 3 notches in there. You're going to put one of these across on 2 pieces on the top notch and in the 2 lower recesses of the bottom 2 notches. Let me put one together real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. The deeper recess in there, the deeper recess is where the shelf is actually going to go. So what I'm going to do, they have you doing 1 piece at a time. I'm going to go ahead and do both sides at the same time with all 3 of the supports. So I'm going to put glue into each area where I want to put the supports. Oops. And then I'm going to put the supports in there. Go ahead and get a little bit more glue in there. I'm going to start with the top support. I just realized that actually is going to be facing outwards. So I was thinking it was going to be facing inwards. Might need to sand it, might not. Get these in there. Once I have these together and they've dried a little bit, I'll look at it and see if I need to sand those or not. It is rustic wood furniture. It is not going to be 100% perfect. Get back on there. Get this 3rd one in here. The glue is actually, I think I rubbed it out with my fingers accidentally. Definitely recommend white glue on these. Yeah, and it's just falling all apart. Try this again. And that's the thing, is the glue doesn't grab, it may not grab immediately, but it will grab within a couple minutes, and then everything will be fine. Come on, down in there. Get this 3rd one back in there. I could use super glue, but that would get really ugly really fast. With this white glue, I'm able to reposition as needed, and shouldn't have to break parts if I have to take them apart. So very gently. And that is one side of the cabinet, or of the shelves. And yeah, on the inside I can see I'm going to go ahead and sand those. Let me set this down, and I'm going to pause, and I'll be back when I have those all done. Okay, so I've got all 4 of them done. This could be interesting anyway, when I'm putting the shelves on. But there's what one of them looks like. Turn it over, you can see the back side. And it says, at this point, we stain the shelves and the sides. Rather than painting, I'm just going to quickly dip. If I can keep from dropping that in, each one. Because by painting it, I get little speckles of the stain everywhere. Interesting. There's a nice line there probably one of the rings on the tree. You can see it does pick up some, but there, we'll look at that side there. There's that one. Dip this other side, trying not to drop it to where I lose it into the stain. And actually, if you look, both sides pretty much pick up the same amount of stain. Do the same thing for this one. And I'm hoping that nothing comes apart when I dip those in. They should be dry enough, I hope. I don't want to wait until they're completely solidly dry to put these together, because I don't want to be fighting to get them on, or get past a part that's not quite in the right spot. I want to be able to shift it. Let me get a new paper towel for these. And I'm going to be a little bit more gentle with these. I'm going to dip them. And then I'm just going to set them on the paper towel. You can see there why I have the wax paper down, because I'm dripping stain everywhere. Paper towel. Get up these drips of stain. Let me get rid of this acid brush. Close up the stain. Get these up so I don't inadvertently set something in them. Go through a lot of paper towels when I'm doing stain. There's one. Looks pretty decent. There's another one, and that one is slightly out. The top support was not in where it was supposed to be. I just shifted it into the correct spot. I can hear Ian and Todd laughing it up because of the mess that this stain is making. On the other hand, you wouldn't catch them dead doing this. Get that out of there. Clean up this as best I can. Shouldn't need the gloves anymore. So let me see if I can get one to go together, and then I'll finish the other off camera. So you put a little bit of glue in the recesses that are still open. You can see, you take a shelf and you slide it in there, and it should hopefully seat all the way in. Do that with a second one. This is where it gets tricky, because if you can't get them both to seat at the same time, you end up popping it apart. You can see there's still a little bit of a bow to one of the shelves there. Take this second one. Do the same thing, and hopefully when I'm working with two sets of pieces, with two shelves, two side pieces, it won't cause a bunch of headaches. It looks like it wants to. Bowed shelf is causing a little bit of an issue. So let me finish this off screen. I'll get both shelves put together and be right back. Okay, it's about 5 minutes later. Got both shelves together. They are a little bit wonky right now. I'm going to set them down, put them in here directly up against the wall, or put them against walls so that they are squared as I can get them while they dry. The back wall should square them up left, right, front, center, or front and back. I can feel it. This one's a little bit, yeah, that one's a little bit off because the shelf is not all the way in on the bottom. Come on. There we go. Put that back in there. Weird. It popped out on both sides. Almost threw a shelf across the room. Okay, that should be good. Hopefully, let's set it in there and see. Yeah, now you can see they're identical. The bottom was not lining up. They're up against here. They're flat up against the wall. Let them be for right now to dry. So this next part is going to be a little bit interesting. Let me take a look at it, and I will be back once I have a pretty good idea of what I've got to do. Okay, so the templates are, these are templates for the bags. What you do is you lay this in here. Oh, by the way, Kahvi is coffee. Sipuli is onion. Lay this in here. Lay it over. And what you want to do is get the lettering just about centered on the bag as best you can. I almost think this might be easier just to do it without the template. Maybe. Okay, got that pretty much where I need it. Let's see if I can grab both sides with the clamp. Pull that out. Give or take. Do the same thing on this side. Give or take. What I'm trying to do is get a fairly straight side fold on both sides. So that it's like that. And then they say to take some 5mm double-sided tape. Hopefully I've got enough for this one side. I think I do. And I'm going to lay it as close to the edge as I can. They've actually got theirs a hair closer, but it'll be okay. Do the same thing on this side. I don't know that I can lift it back up on this one side, but so what you end up with is two pieces of double-sided tape on here, and what they're doing is it's holding the bag, holding to the inside of the bag as well as being ready to grab the outside. So now I cut that off. I don't need that sticking outside the bag. Then you take it and you peel the tape. Fortunately, I have clear double-sided tape so that when I fold it, it disappears. And it also kind of will gum up and join itself really well. Static electricity, it doesn't want to let go of me. And now it's stuck to the tape. This is really messy, or can be a little bit. The main issue right now is getting the tape backing peeled up without getting grabbed by the other piece of tape. And that's the problem, is I keep grabbing the sticky part too. This is actually a pretty ingenious way to make a bag, at least in my opinion. Okay. Again, static electricity. So now you see, I've got the two double-sided pieces of tape, and you just fold it together all the way down. So now I've got a quote-unquote bag. Take my tweezers and see if I can open my bag. Come on. Note to self, don't get them lined up exactly right. That is very, very tight opening. Okay, got one side opened a little bit. This is where the thing pops completely open. I get really mad and go, this doesn't work. So all I got to do is get one side or the other to release, preferably both on the same side from the inner bag. There we go. Come on. Definitely on the other one, I'm not going to use the 5mm. But then you to pull little pieces of foam off and stick it down inside the bag. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to get the other bag done too. See if I can get rid of the static electricity, and I'll be back when both bags are done. Okay, I actually was able to get it to go into a bag, and that I looked. It does actually say at the end of the issue, it says that it's coffee and onions, but this will go onto one of the shelves just like this, and I'll trim those the strings off a little bit after it dries. They say to use wood glue to tie the to put on the strings. Instead, what I used was this. I use it for sails on wooden ships when I build them. I like it a lot. It's kind of like super glue for threads. I'm going to do the coffee one off um, off screen, and you'll see it next. You'll see it next time I'm working on the cellar because it'll be sitting there on the shelf. Hope you're enjoying this build. This one was a little bit stressful, again, a little bit long. You know, that's why sometimes it takes me a while to get back to the Moomin house because these tend to be long issues, whereas things like the RoboCop are pretty short. Like I said, hope you're enjoying this. Like and subscribe if you do. Hit the bell icon if you want to be notified of whenever I post new content. Come on over to Hobby Time Modelers on Facebook, YouTube, and Discord. See what we're doing. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. And I will see you on the next video.